I have created the best reselling spreadsheet out there, whether you're reselling on Vinted, eBay, Depop, whatever platform you're on. I have spent hours on this, which is a fully automated spreadsheet to make your reselling life easier, especially if you're worried about tax, right? So hopefully you can see my screen now. So this is the April to April. Now you could do January to December if you wanted to, but for tax reasons, I like to do April to March. Now I see it all the time. People are struggling with spreadsheets. So I've just done a tutorial on this spreadsheet. Now I use numbers, which can be downloaded on your phone as well. Now you can export this into Google Spreadsheets or Excel, but there are some things that go wrong during the export. But I'm basically going to just go through everything that you need to know. So let's just use the month of April as an example. So let's say we're selling some Jordan for military blacks. You can put the SKU as well. Let's say they're size 11. We only bought one. Let's say we bought them on Facebook and the item cost us £200. And then you can also say where you've listed it on. You can obviously edit that as well, or you can just type it in. What you could do is eBay. Let's say Vinted, right? And you can just copy it into there, so you know where it's listed. I'm going to explain all the columns, but you can obviously edit this to as you want. So let's say we sold that for 180, actually 280, right? And we sold it on eBay. The shipping cost was £5, other fees, I don't know, promotions or anything like that. And then, I don't know, let's call it just other random fees, right? It'll give you your profit there, and then it will give you your total amount there, which is £159 we've made for the month in profit, because it's obviously calculated these two, but it's obviously added up to £37 in profit. And the beauty of this as well is it will automatically track. So we have done a £580 in revenue, £159 in profit, £159 in profit. Monthly revenue is 580, and it will automatically track here. And then it'll also give you your total for the year already tracked. So it will track all. So let's say if we infill all of these in, it will give you your total annual profit, revenue, and expenses. So when it comes to expenses, let's say we have traveled to a Nike outlet, right? And that cost us £10 in petrol. That will automatically get added to your travel expenses. But let's say it's a business expense, right? Because it's already keyworded in. Let's say you bought a printer, label printer. It will automatically add that as well. So 120, it'll add the 120 there. The 110 there plus the 10. So then when you go to your annual summary, it will tell you what your monthly business expenses and travel expenses are, which makes your taxing easier. But if you're not worried about tax, obviously you can use this spreadsheet to just keep an eye on things. So this is how I also like to keep a log of all my spreadsheets. So let's say I've literally just bought these shoes and they haven't sold yet, but they're on their way, right? You've just bought them off Vinted, I don't know, on the 6th of June 2025, right? I will literally highlight this in blue. Obviously match the color, so I know that's on way, right? But let's say I bought some Nike Dunk Lows, right? In a size 7 for £15. For the sake of it, I haven't filled anything in. But when they arrive, they were fake. What I'll do is I'll know by the color code what I'm actually doing, right? So currently I've returned those, right? So I'm just waiting for that to be refunded. And then obviously once it's refunded, what I can do is just delete that off the spreadsheet. This is how you keep track, especially if you're like me and buying like 100 to 200 items every 2 weeks. This is how you stay on track of things. So let's say, I don't know, I bought some Tommy Hilfiger puffer jacket. I bought it off Vinted, right? spent like, I don't know, £500. Obviously I haven't spent £500. Bought one of them. You can even change this if you wanted a condition. So if it's new or used, so let's say new, it's a new one. But I've got it in hand, but I haven't listed it yet. So then we'd put that as the dark purple. So in hand, and then obviously once it's listed, what we'll do is we'll obviously put it as red because it hasn't actually sold yet, but I've listed it on the platforms, and you can put the platforms here. Obviously you can put Vinted, and obviously, I don't know, you could do eBay as well, right? If you want to list on loads of platforms, do that, and then obviously we can change that. So now that my military blacks are also on Vinted and eBay, right? And then you can just copy and paste that onto there. So it also shows you how much you spent, so 900, and then also it will tell you how many items have sold and how many items have not sold. The items sold will happen once you fill in this, and items not sold will obviously show up on which item when you haven't filled out the price, right? So if I put 100 here, 300, 400, now that should go 5 items sold, 5 items purchased for the month, right? So this is the best reselling spreadsheet that you'll find on the market. What else? Yeah, and then obviously what I like to do is obviously just filter it. Once something's sold, right? Let me just do an example. That's what I'll do. So let's say that hasn't sold yet. That's literally what I'll do. So I'll filter all of that to sold, and then whatever's not sold or obviously on the way or returning, I'll leave in red. And then obviously you just fill in as you go, and then that's your spreadsheet for the year, right? So it's as simple as that, people. Hopefully that makes sense from just a quick look at this spreadsheet. But yeah, so you got your keys here, you can change that. You got your sold, in hand, listed, returned, on way, and then obviously items sold, items not sold, total expenses, and then that will just add for your year. Obviously you can change the colors, and this I've done to April to March, but obviously you can change the keys on here, and then obviously just edit that. If you want it to be January, you can just put January, and then obviously put Feb and so on, right? But obviously for now, Jan, yeah, so you can do it that way. But if you are interested in the spreadsheet, obviously it is linked below if you do want it. Message me if you want the Excel version, but it's not going to work. So I'm not sure my way around that. But for now, it's available on Numbers. You can still buy it and export it, but it won't be the same as obviously how it looks on Numbers. Now, if you've got an Apple iPhone or MacBook, obviously it'll work perfect. You can still export it on Google Spreadsheets, but if you wanted my full package of everything, of the ebook bundle as well as the spreadsheet, you do get a discounted rate. But this is something that I've been using for 3 years, and I've just released it to the market now. So if you do want it, feel free to check it out, people. You definitely will not lose items doing this, and you'll be able to keep an eye on everything that you've bought, especially with stuff coming in, coming out. Dealing with hundreds of items every single month, it's hard to keep on track of it. So you need a good spreadsheet, and this is a custom one made by me. Obviously there are different custom ones out there that you can use, but for the price, you don't have to pay monthly for it. It's yours for life once you've done it. And then you can just, obviously once you've done one for the year, let's say you can just copy and paste this into another year, and you can just use it for the following year. You're welcome.